What up, Dokkaners? So last night we had the May producers letter video. This was for revealing the Golden Week Part 2 LR, talking about schedule updates and other things happening in the month of May. So there's actually a lot of information to unpack here. If you want the full-on reaction, either via the live stream or just in video form, check the channel. The video's already been dropped. Also, soon after the reaction video dropped, the full details for the LR Physical Carnival Universe 6 220% lead LR KFC also released. No Kefla. But still, the unit looks pretty promising. So check out those details in the other video. This one, we're just going to be strictly breaking down everything discussed in here. There are still some questions. Some points were left open-ended. So more information will come, throughout the next few months. I'm hoping to give more details on those things. But, I mean, we can make some guesses. So first off, one very unsettling detail for a lot of people was that there was no Amatsu. It was just Ken of the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle staff. So he took over the information for this one, and because he's able to speak more fluent English, I think that's why they did that. And maybe Omatsu was busy with something else at the time. Maybe he's cooking up a storm for what's coming up in June/July. So starting with the basics, they talked about the anniversary reward tickets. So throughout the year of the 10th anniversary, we're going to be getting these tickets by the 3 every month, and you can exchange these in January of 2026 for 11th anniversary wallpapers. So we don't know yet what the wallpapers are going to look like. They said that more information will be coming soon, so we're hoping we can see it. Just to chime on this, as far as the wallpapers are concerned, we started to receive some more animated ones, but in terms of them being animated, they're very basic animations. Like there's confetti flying down, or there's a series of Goku images that are scrolling up. I would like, and I know that this might be a little much just considering the game is just constantly growing in size, but just from a visual standpoint, I think it would be incredibly nice to see Dokkan have its main wallpaper be sort of Legends caliber in terms of the Ultra units. I'm not saying bring out a new unit that has the same level of animations. I'm simply saying let's make the wallpapers look like that. They've made strides to make the game look more appealing. I think having wallpapers of that caliber, if you guys haven't seen Ultra animation units in Legends, you should check it out. It's very rewarding. Or just check out my Legends video, because I am learning how to play Legends with Goresh in an ongoing series. But I think something like that would be pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think for ideas regarding wallpapers, because I think that would actually make it more worthwhile, because nobody really cares about wallpapers at the end of the day. Okay, well, that's not true. It's starting to change. Next, he talks about the all-out battles, the seriously serious. We talked about this before. One key difference that I don't think I mentioned in my other video is that these special tickets that you earn monthly for a limited time and a limited amount can be used not only for Dokkan Festival banners, but also Legendary Summons and Rising Dragon Carnivals. So that's what he says right here. The special summon tickets are items that allow you to perform summons, the summon ticket version of ongoing summons, including Dokkan Festivals, Legendary Summons, and Rising Dragon Carnivals. So I think that's to account for, how monthly, it's not like it's a perfect 14-day cycle between part 1s and part 2s. There's going to be, certain months where we open with the part 2 from the preceding part 1. So maybe, like a Legendary Carnival celebration or a Legendary Banner celebration is the beginning of the month. And so the all-out battle tickets will be used for that banner, right? I think that was the point. But just note how it says Legendary Summons and Rising Dragon Carnivals. So this would not apply to Carnival banners, I think. I think that's what this means. I mean, just based on what it says. So you can earn, so far we've earned 14 from the first month. They will be updating with extra missions, new stages. They didn't talk about it here, but on the Twitter graphic, I already talked about this in another video. If you beat every stage once leading up to the 11th anniversary, you get some sort of a special title. That does not reflect on like all the missions that you complete, but by simply clearing one stage of like each stage that releases throughout the year, you'll get some cool special title. I'm hoping that titles will start to mean something in Dokkan, because right now titles are absolutely pointless, just like wallpapers, just like sticker effects, like those are purely aesthetic. But I do hope that at some point titles actually get some sort of a meaning, because otherwise nobody cares. Again, who cares? That's it for the basic stuff. Then we get into the new stuff. So this is where things get interesting. Summon points are coming to the game. Now, at first glance, it seems like it's a pity summon. I don't think it is. So we're going to go ahead and just read through this. And I'm also going to just read through the notes that I have. unless there's anything that was missed. So how to use summon points. One summon point can be obtained by performing a multi-summon that allows you to recruit 10 characters. Okay, so for every multi, you get one summon point. Once you have obtained a certain amount of summon points, you can exchange them for exclusive summon tickets. The exclusive summon tickets can be used in exclusive ticket summons. Summon points cannot be obtained by performing single summons. The amount of summon points you obtain from a summon is limited. You cannot, just amass a million of these coins. The characters available in the exclusive ticket summons are different from the regular summons. So this is not like the special ticket ones where you have a ticket version of the same banner. This is an entirely different banner. The question is, what is the banner going to look like? Now, in that summon, you will be able to pull, they say that you're going to get a guaranteed featured character from those tickets. 1 point per 10 unit multi. Certain amount of points can be exchanged for a limited amount of summon tickets. Tickets can be used for Dokkan festivals or legendaries or carnivals. Summon point limit exists per banner, and this is coming in late May. So this means after the Golden Week celebration. So after we're done with the part 2 that's coming up, when we jump into the final Dokkan Festival before what was originally going to be the upcoming TANABATA, during this celebration, that is going to be when this summon point system will be implemented. I think the goal for this is to once again add some more value, add some more incentive for people to summon on banners more, I would say probably the lesser banners, because the marquee celebrations, the big time banners, they speak for themselves. But banners that are maybe a little bit more forgettable, something like this in the middle of nowhere, something like this fresh off of the anniversary. I mean, this year the exception is that it's part EX, but even though it really isn't. But banners like this, after massive hype celebrations, people are trying to rest and recover. They don't want to give you that. They want you to summon more, and they want to add more, enticing mechanics to make that happen. So that's what this is. It is not a pity. It is an alternate banner. So we'll see what that is. Hopefully the banner is good. Maybe this will allow for characters to potentially return sooner. Maybe certain characters and how long it takes for them to return. Maybe this sort of thing might speed up the process of those units returning. Maybe a character that you want to return. Maybe like we have a Namek Saga banner that's coming up for the next Dokkan Festival, but there's an Android Cell Saga unit that you've been dying to pick up, but it's not featured on the main banner. Maybe you have a chance to pull it through the special ticket summons, something like that. So more information needs to come in. We have to see an example of what this ticket summon banner would look like. That will only be revealed at the end of May. Then we move on to another big update. Dokkan Special Day. Pretty bland, generic name, but it's fancy and it's colorful and it means something. On the 15th and 30th of every month, they will be having a special day where there will be special events, rewards, and 24 hours of a hyperbolic time chamber. They call it the Chamber of Chamber of Secrets. They call what do they call it in the JP version? I was gonna say Chamber of Secrets, man. Yep, I'm gonna get roasted for that one. Hold on.
A 24-hour only ultimate leveling up chamber of spirit and time, which allows you to raise link skill levels easily. Dokkan Special Day missions, where you can get special summon tickets and a handful of events for you to enjoy.
There you go. So the chamber of the hyperbolic time chamber for 24 hours. My biggest question for that is, are they going to be giving us access to that stage with the enhanced link level boost for 24 hours unlimited? Or is it something where you only have 24 hours to jump in there once? Because, the nature of the time chamber is like, it's kind of like a thing that you do once a while, or, once every now and then. We've had that limited event before where you can jump in with some keys and you can't go in anymore. So I'm curious how that's going to play out. I'm hoping it's a full 24 hours, which would actually be really cool. This kind of reminds me of something I learned recently, which is Legends Weekend. Hardcore Legends players apparently look forward to the weekend because certain things happen during the weekend. I want something like that in Dokkan, and I think that this could be a vehicle to give Dokkan, like the Dokkan schedule, a little bit more structure for more consistent players to have things to look forward to. Twice a month, you get to go into the hyperbolic time chamber for a full day, boosted links, more rewards. More summon tickets. I mean, this I also wasn't expecting, because we already are going to be getting 14 of these special tickets from the seriously serious stuff. Now we're going to be getting more from this. How much more? That remains to be seen. And this will also be used on different banners. Special tickets.
You can also
for
the
ticket version of the banners
by clearing the corresponding extra missions related to seriously serious all-out battles that we previously mentioned. Seriously serious extra missions.
Is this merely? They're saying the summon tickets are the same as the ones that you obtained from the seriously serious, but are we going to be getting more of them, or are they simply saying it's just the same thing? Because when they were talking about it here, they were talking about how every month we're going to be getting this, but this is happening twice a month. So if it has to happen multiple times, are they going to be splitting up the 14 tickets that you would earn all at once into 7 and 7, or is it going to be more than that? That remains to be seen. But still, more free stuff, which I like, because this gives players more incentive to jump back in and play. Right now, Dokkan feels slow for a lot of people, so people may not log in, people might not engage. These sorts of things that they're changing will create more engagement, will create more reason and incentive for players to jump back in. More information should be coming soon. When did they say they were going to be starting this? Actually, you know what? We should read this down here. This is actually pretty important. Dokkan Special Day may not be available during large-scale campaigns. So similar to Pity System, Pity only applies to non-marquee celebrations. This Special Day scenario may not always drop during certain months in the year. The summons you can use tickets on will vary based on the time at which you obtain the summon tickets. So I think that this means more specifically, if a Dokkan festival is active, it'll apply to that. If a carnival or a legendary summon is available, it'll apply to that. Simple as that. It's still free. Event duration and content may change without notice. For the international version, Dokkan Special Day will be held from
all-out battles
0 UTC to 23:59 UTC, basically 24 hours. Okay, that's cool. Then we go into the LR Kalen Caulifla reveal. It is confirmed to be a Rising Dragon Carnival. It is a Carnival unit. Again, for the full breakdown, go check out the other video. I'll tell you what, I'm bummed out there's no Kefla, but I think I like the unit. Obviously, we need to test out the character when the unit drops, but I think I like the unit. First of all, Universe Rival Saga, so I'm a little biased, but animations, definitely the voice acting is good. I think the unit, I'm going to enjoy using the unit. Unit's going to be dropping on the 14th of May-ish. So basically in like 3 days. So a data download should be coming in the next day or two. We already got the animations. So yeah, things are picking back up in terms of the new unit coming up. And this, once again, Carnival banner with double rates. So again, go look at the other video. Let's skip this one. I know that some people, I know I'm getting roasted. It's, you know, it's called copium. Sure. I thought that they just didn't reveal their entire hand in the video. I thought that maybe we would get a Kefla in the animations, but we didn't. So okay, I was wrong. Now this is another big thing. So I thought that we were done with the full synchro changes, but we're not quite there yet, because throughout the lead up to the full synchro, there's been a lot of changes that have happened, but also there have been a lot of questions. How exactly are certain celebrations going to be handled now that Global and JP are operating on the same schedule? So this is where they introduce a new schedule for how they're going to be doing celebrations moving forward. For global players, you'll recall that before, at the beginning of the year, we would get a dual Dokkan Festival banner. Actually, you know what? This is where my sacred timeline is so awesome. So if we go back to last year was coded in yellow. Last year, we had a Dokkan Festival. We had a part 2, like just a random, not even at all related to the part 1. But this is what Global was going through. Meanwhile, JP is preparing for the anniversary. Anniversary for them happens while we're having this, right? Then Global, towards the summertime, we get the anniversary while JP gets the TANABATA. So some of the wind is sucked out of our sails, because while we're now finally getting the hand-me-down anniversary units 6 months later, JP players get the new shiny toy, and we can't help but be jealous. After this celebration is over, okay, don't ignore this. This was like during the whole full synchro thing. Okay, let me go back to the year before. Hold on. Okay, back here. So after the anniversary, we have a tiny little break, right? Pre-Worldwide Dokkan Festival. Then we jump back into another hype celebration. This one is even more enticing for global players, especially because this is something that JP also has not experienced, because this is brand new for both. That's what it used to be. And then global would get Tanabata later on in the year, closer to November, when JP already had it back during the summertime. So now what they're doing is they are changing things up. And so instead of Tanabata, like we originally thought was going to be coming up in July, this is what I was expecting. This is, I think most people were expecting, because why think otherwise? This is what I've had on the Sacred Timeline. Thank you celebration coming up at the end of June, right? They are now changing it, and they're calling it the Global Dokkan Campaign. Global Dokkan Campaign and the worldwide celebration are basically the same thing. So I think what's going on is we are effectively ending the worldwide celebration. The worldwide celebration itself is actually something that came about from something else. It used to be basically a celebration of the various milestones that we reached. The 200 million download celebration, the 250 million download celebration, the 300 million download celebration, things like that. And so after a certain point, we weren't hitting those milestones year after year. So we had to change it into something else. So it became the worldwide celebration, right? And that was like more of the name that they would market. And so by calling it the Global Dokkan Campaign, they even say like, this is the, let me actually just read what they're saying. We want to host a campaign grand enough to include the whole world.
To include the whole world, hence the name for the campaign.
So I think this means that the worldwide celebration is over, because then they also say that later on, the Tanabata celebration is going to be happening around September.
We will share more details about the campaign content and start date at a later date, so we would appreciate it if you could stay tuned for further updates. Due to this change in the operation schedule, the Tanabata campaign, which was held every July in the Japanese version, will be replaced by a campaign of comparable size planned for around September.
Around September. What happens around September? The worldwide celebration. So I think that's what's going on. I think we are now moving worldwide to the thank you slot, and the thank you is moving down to the worldwide slot. Okay. I think either way, it still sort of takes the global players back into, well, I mean, no, JP players have had to deal with this. But yeah, basically, yeah, global players really are kind of used to this already, because like I said before, we had anniversary, then a tiny little timeout, and then the next big celebration. So we're doing that again, but we're kind of switching things up. So I'll be curious to see how they do this. The good news with this new Global Dokkan campaign is that, as what we think is going to be the new worldwide celebration, anniversary characters will be coming back sooner. Higher profile characters will be returning sooner, probably making the grind of, or I guess the lull of having to save so much more worth it, because it'll be dropping sooner. So I think that ultimately this will be a good move. Having a dual Dokkan festival times, well, yeah, a dual celebration for part 1, part 2 happening earlier, and then having the Tanabata happen afterwards, I think might be better for players in general. So we'll see. Let me go ahead and just play the rest of what he says here in case there's any like line that I missed.
This wraps up the in-game info.
Nope, that's it. Okay, that's it. So I think it's cool. I don't really care. Let me see. Do I have anything else here? July to August. I think this is the new worldwide. Happens in place of where Tanabata used to be. This means Tanabata will now be in September, replacing where worldwide celebration used to be. Yeah. Okay. So now the next and final piece of news here, and that is the web store. So Legends just did this a few days ago, and now Dokkan is doing the same thing. And apparently, according to chat, other games are doing this as well. Fortnite did it, and I think a lot of other mobile games. So from what I know and from what I've been told, this is being done because of some predatory practice by, is it Apple or some like mobile market, where if you have an app through that's downloadable through that market, the transactions, some of the percentage of the transactions made through the game are siphoned off by the mobile market itself. So I'm just gonna use Apple. Like I download Dokkan through Apple, right? Through the Apple Store. So Apple takes X% from the total revenue that would come in from each transaction. So I think games are now circumventing that whole revenue splitting issue by having their own web store where the prices are cheaper for all the profit. So what does this mean for us? This means for those of you who spend on the game, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, by the way, guys, because I don't know everything about this. I'm still kind of learning about it because I just found out. So let me know. But what this means for us is that for those of you who spend, this means you're going to be spending stones for less. So this is kind of like the era of the vendors, although I never was comfortable with the idea of giving someone else my account. You're not giving someone your account. You are simply connecting your Bandai Namco ID with Dokkan, which you can already do in game. That was already a thing. It's a means to an end for security purposes. Like if you connect it through your game center, Google, whatever, you can now also do it through Bandai Namco. They've been able to do this for what, like 5 years? If you have it set up through that, you can go to a website and then you can buy stones through there and it'll all be given into your game and it'll be cheaper. And I think they're going to be doing, actually I wrote this down, discounts, bonus items, and promotion codes for buying online. They will also be doing item giveaways with codes coming soon through future videos. You got to link the Dokkan Battle account using the Bandai Namco ID. I've heard that there's some issue with some people. I don't know if this is a thing for like JP players who don't live in Japan, but like if you've been playing the JP version all this time, I don't know if you're able to do this. Someone had said that there might be an issue with that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on how to like link up your Bandai Namco ID, but it's very straightforward. It's a very simple process, and you get 15 Dragon Stones for doing it. So I think people should do it, even if you don't want to do the whole buying stuff, which I get. A lot of free-to-play players, you should still do it because more security. So in terms of account recovery, I think it'll be easier this way, and you get 15 free Dragon Stones. So there you have it. That is everything very comprehensively discussed in this video. Again, we still have questions. Will we be getting more of these special tickets besides the 14 that we've been given at the start of this last month? Will these 15th and 30th days of the month give us, I don't know, another 7 each? Will the hyperbolic time chamber of secrets thing give you unlimited link leveling for 24 hours, or will it be a one-time thing? Will the worldwide celebration be completely axed and we just simply swapped Tanabata with worldwide and call it something new? What will this mean for the extra summon point banners? Will those banners look like those free weekend ticket banners? Will it look like some of those 30 special summon banners where it's just a bunch of like banner units, not really anything more special? A lot of things need to be revealed, so we gotta wait a little bit. More answers will probably start to come in after the Golden Week celebration is concluded. Early June, I think we should start to see some answers. But until then, this will have to do. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Load in the comments your thoughts on all of the information that we discussed here. Is there anything that I missed? Do you have any further questions? And I mean, yeah, what else? What are your thoughts on this whole web store shift? I think it's good. I don't care personally when it comes to like spending the money where it goes. I more care about how much I'm paying, and if I can pay less, oh, I'm gonna pay less while also being safe. I would never do the vendor thing, but this I'll do. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Also be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content of the future and click the notification bell so that you'll know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. If there's anything that I missed, by the way, do check the pinned comment because I will clarify if I said something wrong or if I didn't articulate something properly. Just check the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly. Bye bye.